Hey, Alan here for Old English Outfitters. So we've talked before about the 5.7 by 28 cartridge and how it was originally designed as a personal defense weapon cartridge for folks who didn't need a full-size battle rifle. Fabrique Nationale developed it. And over the years, it kind of waned a little bit. You know, there were a couple guns made for it, both by Fabrique Nationale, both by FN, and then nobody else took too much interest in it. There were a couple AR conversions that worked with it, things like that, but nothing too mainstream. Well, along came Ruger last year and year before with their 5.7 pistol and their carbine, both of which are very, very nice weapons, especially that carbine. And we got a review up on that carbine. We liked it a whole lot. Well, so what happens? Along comes our friends at Smith & Wesson with their 5.7 by 28 caliber weapon they call the 5.7. It's kind of funny. Ruger calls their pistol the 5.7. This is the 5.7 because you can't do exactly the same, right? Rugers come with 20-round magazines. Well, what do you do when your competitors puts a 20-round magazine in a gun? You put a 22-round magazine in yours. That's what they've done. Comes with two 22-round magazines. Very interesting pistol. Very comfortable pistol to shoot. Very easy. A word about the magazines before we get too much further into this. These things are a little bit ornery to load if you're trying to load them the usual way, pushing rounds in. They load like an AR magazine. Push it straight in, right? Well, along with this, Smith & Wesson, God bless them, has given us a magazine loader. When we first looked at this, we said, what is this thing? Because the top's closed and the bottom's open. That's not a magazine loader. How do you do that? But lo and behold, it is. It's got a hole in the back. So what happens is you put it over the top, and all you have to do is drop that 5.7 by 28 cartridge in that hole and push it in. And it works splendidly. So you're going to want that loader because these things, especially when you get past about 10 rounds, start to get just a little bit on the ornery side to load if you're doing it normally. So kudos to them for putting that loader in there and designing it the way they did. It's actually very, very effective. Okay, so the pistol itself is gas operated. It has a little gas port on it. It has, if you look at the back end of the breech actually locks and unlocks. It rotates a little bit, just the breech end of the barrel where the chamber is. It's pretty much a conventional semi-automatic pistol, one shot each time you pull the trigger. It has the usual sort of checkering that we've seen on Smith & Wesson's latest generation semi-automatic pistols on the grip. It can be had with or without a manual thumb safety. This one does not have the manual thumb safety. It has sights that if you've looked at any of the newer Smith & Wesson semi-autos, it's got the same sights. 3 white dots, nice front blade, square notch rear, the typical thing. It is optics ready, kind of take the medium footprint type optics. We have front and rear cocking serrations. The top of the slide is scalloped. It is not ported. Doesn't have to be. This thing is a pussycat to shoot. So this is just lightning cuts on the slide. We have the barrel extends past the front of the slide. It is threaded, and it does come with the thread protector on it, so you can put your favorite suppressor or whatever up there. It has Picatinny rail under the dust cover, like many things have these days, so you can add lights, lasers, all that sort of stuff. Magazine release is reversible, works exactly the same way that they've designed it on their newer generation guns, like the Shield Plus and the Equalizer and those types of pistols. So no surprises there. Does not have a takedown lever like the others do. This has an ambidextrous slide release, and to take it apart, you actually have to push that slide release out like you would with a 1911, sort of. A little bit different, but sort of. So you actually take that out in order to take it down. A little different than the usual thing we're used to with Smith & Wesson's weapons where you've got a rotating lever. This pistol is hammer fired. It is not striker fired. It is hammer fired. So, think about the EZ series guns. They're hammer fired. And the advantage that gives you is the ability to make a very good trigger. Instead of tensioning anything, the hammer's already cocked, so all the trigger has to do is trip it. We do have a center safety piece here on the trigger so that it won't move under its own momentum and trip things by accident. It does have an over travel stop, both on the trigger and on the back of the slide, or back of the frame, So that works really well. The trigger face is flat, so it gives it a very good feel. The trigger itself is pretty good. It's fairly crisp. You've got a little take up before it gets there. Is it a match trigger? No, it's not, but you know what? It's perfectly fine for the intended purpose. This pistol, again, was very, very comfortable to shoot. You can crank rapid fire shots out of this very easily. The 5.7 by 28 cartridge ballistically has been compared to the 22 Magnum cartridge. Now that's ballistically. Size of the bullet, how fast it travels, all that sort of thing. However, because it's center fire, you have center fire primer reliability out of it and the ability to reload if you're so inclined. So that makes it very interesting because you're combining that low recoil impulse of a cartridge in this range. 5.7, we're talking 22 caliber roughly, right? So you have pretty low recoil impulse, but the ability to do things that you do with other center fire cartridges. Very, very nice pistol. Very comfortable to shoot. Accurate. We didn't shoot pinpoint for accuracy. We just shot on steel and stuff. Checking functioning and all that sort of thing. Had no problems with it. Works great. Should be a very popular seller. Purpose for this? Well, that cartridge is going to be a good defense cartridge with the right ammunition, the right expanding type bullets. It also will limit some over-penetration hazard. It's going to be great for use on varmints and critters and things, you know. That groundhog that's eating the lettuce in the garden will fall to this cartridge. For a home defense gun, especially for somebody who's recoil sensitive, good choice. It cycles pretty easily. Not too bad to do. You got plenty of slide to get a hold of. And the recoil impulse being what it is, very easy for probably 99% of the people to operate effectively. So, Smith & Wesson's 5.7. And we're going to give a little special shout out to our friend Steve Molinex, who assisted us with some of the aspects of making this video. So, check with us for price and availability on this. New product from Smith & Wesson, new for 2023. We'll see them. Check with us for current price and availability. They're going to be probably scarce coming out originally or initially, but we'll see more of them as time goes on. All right, well, that's what we have for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Alan for Old English Outfitters.